We are going to play a round robin, and we are finding those pieces right now. So, jumping into Pancake versus BHAN Hacterox. I think that it feels like it's been a very long day. It started out with a lot of runecraft, but I think as the day has gone on, it's really been a lot about kind of the Shadowcraft matchup. I think is the one consistent deck that has shown up again and again in each of the matchups here.
Yep.
Absolutely. What it is.
And this has been the matchup. I think all the players feel like they're comfortable on both sides of this matchup, which is interesting.
Right. Yeah, it is. I think the Burn Rune has the upper hand, but for some reason Shadow players won't ban it. So I guess they disagree.
They just don't want to deal. I mean, like, they just don't care. They're like, you know what? If you can burn me, you can burn me. But technically speaking, Dirt Rune does have this inherent thing where it can brick, right? So maybe they just don't care.
True, yeah.
They're just like, it'll beat itself, so.
And he actually got rid of Pancake. He mulliganed away one of those, like, safety net cards, Wizardess of Oz. And if he just never sees that again, then he just never sees it again, so.
Which, after BHAN Hacterox's comeback, has just never been a thing in this whole tournament, you know?
All right, Wizardess has not shown up. It could be that the players are cutting some number of Wizardess in you know, opting to play things like Illusionist, like we see on the other side of the table, or Professor of Taboos, or more spells. I mean, maybe they're just not playing 3 anymore.
Should be very interesting.
Or we're just incredibly unlucky at seeing.
Yeah, of course.
Given the choice of being able to tutor an option, or to go for more redundancy of certain options, or I say quote-unquote redundancy, because it's actually very hard to find that in Shadowverse, I feel like. Cards are typically somewhat unique, or typically somewhat power creeped, right? There's not a lot of choices. There's not a lot of chances where you would actually see 2 cards and be like, oh, this does about the same thing, so I'll bring both of them, right?
Right. Actually, that's a really good point about Shadowverse as a whole. Like, that's one of the reasons why I love the game, is because all the cards are so varied. Like, every time you look at a card, it's like, this actually does something completely different. There are some similarities, of course, you know, across the play point range, but realistically, very unique.
So, and there's also, you know, cards in the same play point range that technically do the same thing. Like, if they both get rid of a minion, at the end of the day, they both got rid of a minion, right? So, like, doesn't matter how they do it. They can do a backflip if they want to. They can eat an Earth Rune if they want to, but they got rid of a minion. They got rid of a minion.
When you dilute it to its core elements. Right. It's kind of like what Exodia was saying. Sometimes you hit face, you know? If you don't hit face, you don't win. Hit face more, you win. All the cards boil down to, now I can hit face.
Yep. Or I couldn't hit face this turn. Sad face.
Sad face, my face get hit.
That's right.
Pancake opting to go for the Halo Golem, probably evolve over the 1/1 play instead of the Kaleidoscopic Glow into the Magical Illusionist evolve play. Sets up a bigger board, but it's going to get eaten by a Soul Squasher here.
Yep, sets up for a perfect Soul Squasher. And this is the type of thing that I really like with the Shadows. So, like, if you force your opponent to actually play Serb and evolve, they don't get to use their Mimi and Coco the same turn, which allows you to, like, kind of orient your turns better. But if Shadow has the opportunity to play Serb on 6, it most of the time always will, because it gets the extra advantage out of the Mimi or the Coco on the same turn. Which actually sets you up for a lot more potent plays.
Pancake could choose to slow roll this turn, cast the Illusionist, bring back the Halo Golem, give it Rush, and just attack the Soul Squasher, or even Lurching Corpse if he wants to, hoping for that ping onto the Halo Golem, but it's not too many better plays.
The only other one that I can see right now is a Kaleidoscope on the Lurching Corpse, and then Illusionist evolve into the Soul Squasher. I
do think that you want to... you don't want to be bouncing Lurching Corpse, since it's very easy to put back on the board, and you want to play Master Mage Levi. You want to develop that crushing board wipe against him.
Well, that would be the reason to bounce the corpse. So, for instance, if the Fina was the play here, the corpse wouldn't come back into play, and then Master Mage Levi wouldn't die immediately.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. He does know that, 6 mana is a turn where Shadow normally does just swarm, so. And Halo Golem's gone. Illusionist does that, by the way. You don't keep that minion.
Yeah.
But
It's still just a fine Levi board. I mean, you trade your Levi to the corpse, but you also wipe the entire board,
fine.
so.
Right.
Yeah.
still gaining a lot of value.
Oh, perfect draw.
Yeah, that was really good.
Get some use out of that Erd, while also not diluting your followers for Demon Eater.
That is crazy. Mutagenic Bolt is a play here. It's not the best, but...
Right. This is the time where Mutagenic Bolt can do a lot, but because Rune's behind, very scary to play.
You're almost incentivized
Definitely.
not to take away the Flame Rats. You just start swinging more face.
Right.
And it's actually very scary, right? Because if you get 3 rats, and then Cerberus and Coco Mimi on the rats, you get what? 3... You take 3 damage there.
Realistically, the rats are always going to be
7,
less
11,
than
12.
on
Yeah.
liches and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage instantly. With the Evolve, do you win? If you had played Mutagenic
you
Bolt,
would.
I think you just win.
It won't be long now.
Yeah, if Mutagenic Bolt was played, then he'd actually only have 12 damage, but it would be very close. Like, enough to be like, oh crap, I have to kill all the Flame Rats now, and I probably just lose.
Yep. Still a lot of damage
Pancake
here.
hand is just not very strong, and Hacterox just has gas. Like, he's got card draw, he's got card generation. He's even gonna make another Lich here.
Yep. I think this is a pretty easy trade into the Grimnir, unless he really wants to save that for another board wipe, but yeah.
I think there is a particular value in getting the Cerberus out of your hand and getting the Earth to swing face with the Coco buff. Just while you have board control and can swing face.
Yeah, so this is a more interesting play. Like, my turn order this turn probably would have been something like Demon Eatering the Skull Beast into Cerb before I did anything, or just to see what my options were. But he did everything backwards. Didn't end up being punished that much for it.
Yeah, it's pretty good for next turn. Ooh! That's pretty good for this turn.
Heyo!
You can wipe the board and draw a card doing it, having 2 mana left over as well.
The name's Levi, don't forget.
This must
Pancake slow rolls the incredible play he drew.
And this is where that kind of thought of like, okay, while you have board control, play out the Cerberus and actually get that value of swinging face, because that situation can turn around so quick. And in doing that, that actually locks down the Mutagenic Bolt option, right? Because then it's too risky to Mutagenic Bolt in certain situations where that would just kill you.
Right.
Right. And that minion draw was absolutely pivotal for Hacterox. He needed that very badly to draw those cards.
And Soul Squasher not going to be able to get any value here. Pancake smartly not using an Evo there.
I slipped up.
I can't imagine his last evolve goes on to killing this, ooh! Interesting.
Interesting.
Goes on to killing
Yeah.
this illusionist. It's gonna pop Mimi on it, okay.
So I imagine all face now?
It seems like it's about that point in the game. Ooh, that Halo Golem
Yeah.
is gonna...
That actually turns on Halo Golem, yeah. The Iron Scrap Smelter does, while also developing a ward, but drawing first is better.
You can
Play it out.
Yeah.
Might as well eat the ward, though. Yep.
I almost like Halo Goleming face here. There we go. I like
Yep.
Yeah,
this.
of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, never Halo Golem a 1-1. Because even if he
Pancake's
eats
like,
you
I
on the
see the line.
backdrop, it's not enough.
Yep. Now Mutagenic Bolt's looking really tasty.
Yep.
For sure.
And really, I think in this particular
Ooh.
matchup, the way that it's played out,
That's bad. That's actually very good for Hacterox. He can clear the board completely for just 6 mana. Just replay his Soul Squasher here. Ugh, that's... Oh no. Okay, so technically, he will have 4 minions if he plays the Squasher. If Pancake draws Demonic Strike.
Then does Mutagenic
Yeah, it's
Demonic.
lethal. It's 1 off! Ah!
Oh my gosh.
It does kill Soul
on the flip
Squatchers.
side, I think you can't play Mutagen. Oh! He lost. I'm pretty sure the Evolve plus the Coco will definitely be enough damage, right?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. That's it. He knew that the Coco was still in hand too.
How do you do?
Mm-hmm. How do you do?
How do you do?
And that's definitely the line of thought of like trying to get that damage in early. I think it didn't end up turning around and hurting Hacterox, but I do think in that same vein of playing aggression, there definitely seems to be some, you know, value in playing that aggressive play.
There are just a lot of turns. Like this is, I know it's really hard. Like a lot of people think Shadowverse is like an easier type of game, that kind of thing. Like realistically, if you can figure out ways to deal that 1 or 2 extra damage in the mid game instead of playing completely defensively, it really opens up your end game to have so many more options, right? So it's about finding the little windows that you can and not just playing super defensively, or maybe sometimes playing too offensively and not clearing off a minion because your opponent can get that 1 or 2 extra damage in, right? So it's a tough balance sometimes to think about.
And at the end of the day, those two choices are really your base choices for a turn. Do you clear board? Do you do face? And what ultimately is going to get you towards that late game stage where now you're better positioned for the future. Mutagenic Bolt is definitely an option that needs to be respected, but as we just saw, a little bit volatile. Sometimes you take the brunt of the damage, and that's definitely something to be considered. Now, before we move on, I would like to take a moment to remind some people that if they want to get in on the action and play some Shadowverse, shadowverse.nge.io is where you sign up. There's only one more week of qualifiers yet, and we're nearly wrapped up with this week. And so definitely make sure you get in there and figure out how to sign up and how to participate, as well as what times to watch at. So a few more matches left here in week 2's North American qualifier here. And it looks like BHAN Hacterox will go first on the Runecraft mirror match. And BHAN Hacterox is 1 game away from moving to the losers finals to rematch Sprayquaza.
Should be an interesting game. The mirror, I don't think we've seen the mirror yet. So.
Yeah, I don't think we have either.
Ooh! Oz! It's a card!
We finally might get to see it.
Finally
He's
might.
got it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I feel like it doesn't even exist in BHAN Hacterox deck. Oh, it does. Of course it does. He played it.
Of course it does. Yeah.
He did win with it once, yes.
Yeah. It's just so rare.
Pancake's hand is looking pretty good, but BHAN Hacterox, his hand is looking okay as well. So this will be a good little mirror matchup here.
I think Pancake's got the gas for later, much more than Hacterox does. So.
Yeah, Hacterox is more on curve. Let me draw into things, and Pancake's like, I got all the stuff. I just gotta live a little while here.
Hacterox also has all the cards that Pancake would want. He's got the Piercing Rune. He's got the Levi, another Dwarf Alchemist, because Pancake's the first one able to evolve here. And he's
If nothing better, we might see a Kaleidoscopic Glow on his own Scrap Iron Smelter here.
Or the Witch's Cauldron, which would mess up the sequencing, stopping rocks from drawing off of it.
That's true. See what he favors more here.
There it is.
Hey. Dance of Death. Playing that for the Oz, obviously. But.
Yeah, would have preferred to actually not draw that, I feel like.
Yeah, not yet. So this will be a while before that Wizardess comes down. You play it next turn, you're like, well, I lose.
Drew 1 card.
And then discarded my hand. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, next turn is pretty lackluster. But so is Dance of Death, probably. So.
Probably, yeah. I almost imagine, yeah, Dwarf Alch, maybe even evolve the Dwarf Alch for more options. Sitting here with all these sigils, but not a lot of ways to break them.
Could also evolve Levi, put that Fireball in hand.
Done for.
And just cast it.
It's just like back in the old days.
There it is, the choice to go aggressive. Doesn't take it.
Keeps it back.
Yeah, I don't
Dwarf
mind the keep
Alchemist was
here,
a
just
great
not a lot of options, so...
The only loss there is the play point efficiency, right?
Right.
That's the only
Yeah,
loss.
loaded a mana.
So
I
here,
do think
realistically,
Pancake-
there's just not a play. Like Dance of Death on the evolved Levi.
Yeah.
It's really
I
about
think
it.
he wants to play. Okay, I was gonna say I think he wants to evolve this Dwarf Alchemist over the Dwarf Alchemist, see if he can dig into anything else playable. Because if he had also hit a Red Hot Ritual, or wait, no, he only hits real cards. Yeah, he could hit Dwarf Alchemist again.
Right.
Seems to be the popular card to draw these days.
There's actually Wizardess of Oz in both players' hands.
Yeah.
Finally.
But there's
Neither
lots
of them
cards.
going to be played anytime soon.
Yeah.
Though.
no, they're way too card clogged right now.
Gotta imagine Levi even no value here is just straight up damage. Let's go.
Yeah, and I like this. You know, you sets up. You have to respond to it, right? Pushing the game forward.
The name's Levi.
Plus, you don't have a lot of things left. You have the Wizardess. You just want to empty and then refill as fast as you can.
Exactly. These Master Mage Levi's could actually, if he draws another one, could create like a little mini Bahamut effect. Where they just keep killing each other.
Yeah, but it's doing face damage at the same time.
Oh, more like Grimner then, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of feeling like Piercing Rune, Crimson Sork Face, drop as many sigils as I can and pass. Just like empty. Just pure empty.
Yeah, Witch's Cauldron first though, make sure you get that back down there. It's not even a Piercing Rune though. Oh no!
Rune.
Interesting.
And he floats 4 mana with the Oz in hand.
Yeah,
When he could have done this.
interesting.
It won't be long now.
It's just like
I guess he's just not feeling the pressure, man. There's no pressure.
This mirror match is crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of fireballs.
A cool interaction that many people might not know about too is that Piercing Rune gets reduced to 2 after Evo, gets reduced to 1 after Wizardess, but if you evolve the Wizardess, it goes right back up to 2.
That's right. I read about that.
The rune will override the Wizardess.
Yep. Alright, so we thinking maybe Halo Golem here?
Unbelievable.
Halo
A little
Golem
bit
face
extra.
into Fireball is amazing setup for Oz lethal next turn. So
Yep.
I
Face,
imagine
face,
that.
face.
Yeah,
And this is
face.
literally the benefit of going first here.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Definitely. Can even evolve, yep, to get rid of the Levi. Make sure there's not too many retaliation plays. And there's almost no way this Oz can't find lethal. She has to find 3 damage somehow, which is easy for her.
Yeah, and there's already a mutagenic bolt in hand, so any units that come into play for Pancake.
Doesn't cast the Fireball again.
Really?
It's not like it's a hidden card. Like, Pancake
Right.
knows he's got it. Unless he
This is
forgot.
not a secret.
but- And, you know, Oz makes it 1 mana, but it's kind of a moot point. It's already 1 mana.
This could end up costing him. I don't know. Like, maybe the 1 extra play point doesn't
3
matter,
and
but
3.
we'll see.
He's got it.
Doesn't
okay.
matter. Yeah. Didn't
Never
matter.
mind.
What a top deck.
He
This is.
knew. He knew he would get it. Yeah. He just
This-
knew what his next card was.
I feel like this is one of the weirdest mirror matchups to watch.
It is. It's really just people chucking spells at each other until one of them finally
Yeah.
crumbles. It's yeah.
I
I just don't
Pretty
like honestly
crazy.
saving the Fireball when you had 2 like amazing times to cast it against the deck. You're never gonna Fireball a minion. So
do think that going by Exonium's thinking